Hey guys, I was lucky enough to have a childhood filled with colorful and enjoyable media. Yet every so often there would be a movie or TV episode that frightened me so much that I would be haunted for hours or even days. Other YouTubers have discussed their examples of this, and so today I'd like to throw my hat into the mix. Here's my childhood trauma, the films and TV episodes that scared me as a kid. And be sure to comment below with your own list. First up is The Wizard of Oz. Unlike other films on this list, this is one I honestly don't think was trying to be as scary as it turned out to be. Yes, it's a whimsical fairy tale full of colors and singing, but every time we are shown the contrast, the world of the Wicked Witch, things get weird. The way these scenes are designed and lit are what dampen the mood so effectively. The blood-red hourglass that represents Dorothy's life ebbing away, the witch's green face cackling inside the shadowy crystal ball. It's so divorced from the other brighter sequences that while watching, I would suddenly feel very cold and small. What did it for me was any scene with those flying monkeys. Viewing now, when the witch sends them off, I marvel at how gorgeous the shot looks. But as a kid, it was almost like they were coming for me. Then they attack our heroes, the ones we've been singing along to and rooting for, and they do so with such malice. I mean, Jesus Christ, they dismembered the Scarecrow. What the hell is going on? If these minions were more shadowy figures, emotionless or quiet, it would be less scary, but these were jumping, chattering, laughing monkeys. This was playtime for them. Visuals aside, that concept is so off-putting that it's no wonder that kids and adults alike were freaked out. Next is a film I expect to see in the comments, and for a good reason. It's Pinocchio. Many articles, comments, and videos like this one usually focus on the horrific scene wherein the child is transformed into a donkey and screams for his mother. Ugh. But I'm gonna focus on the part that is neglected in these conversations. The whale. The setup is Pinocchio and Geppetto trying to escape the whale's throat on a rickety raft. To do so, they start a fire, and the ensuing smoke makes the whale sneeze them out. The whale looks mean enough already, but the moment I started to curl into a ball was when smoke started billowing from its mouth. And what tops it off is that the whale is so angry. Hats off to the animators and sound designers for making this beast feel, well, bestial. It constantly takes up the whole screen, and the water rips into white streaks to show how fast it moves. It's not hunting for food or pleasure, this thing wants to kill. This whole sequence was such an assault that I'm fairly sure I only saw the film once. It was just too scary for a second time. Next up is the hawk attack from Fievel Goes West. First off, check out how this scene starts. I really miss when animation put an emphasis on cinematography. This scene goes in stages. First, the ominous swooping of the bird as the petrified Fievel runs for his life. He scurries to the first hole he sees and jumps in. Yay! Salvation! Never mind. Now the second stage, a terrible Sophie's Choice. Would I rather be eaten by a bird or a scorpion? And why am I making this decision at 6 years old? As the predators close in, the hawk scoops them up and away they go. Here, the final stage is where most people declare the scene to become comedy. A nearby tribe of Native American mice hear the approaching hawk and launch an attack. I see how many people saw what I'm about to show you as slapstick, but take slapstick far enough and it can become disturbing. And this sequence, even still, is so violent to me. Look at how this is edited. Thankfully it ends on a funny note with the hawk turning into a chicken? But taking on a tour of different kinds of scary in under 3 minutes was overwhelming every time I watched this movie. Next is an episode of Beyond Belief. The show was like a cheesier, even worse acted version of 1,000 Ways to Die, but with a twist. Each episode would depict several scenes of murder, accidents, and other circumstances, and at the end, it was revealed which were real and which were fake. As a child, I enjoyed the guessing game aspect, but there was one segment that scared me so much I turned off the TV, and that was the handyman. A man and his lover kill his wife and attempt to hide the body in drywall. Then the tools, possessed I guess by the dead wife, go haywire. The nail gun pins them against the wall, and what looks like a fire extinguisher coats them from head to toe. As a kid, I was terrified of being trapped anywhere, and the idea of being slowly suffocated like this really messed with me. It was that final panning shot of their preserved, screaming bodies glued against the wall that did it for me. If I'd finished the episode and seen that it was a fictional story, it may have helped. But when you get scared as a child, you're either paralyzed with fear or you bolt. I bolted. A great tradition that many 90s kids will remember is how our shows, both live action and animated, had Halloween specials. What they will also remember is that these episodes were surprisingly dark. For me, the worst was the episode "And Then There Was Sean" from Boy Meets World. The episode plays like the movie Scream. Students are picked off one by one, there are self-referential jokes about the horror genre, and the killer is revealed at the end. The episode, in typical Boy Meets World fashion, contains a lot of jokes and 90s corniness. So, why did it scare me? Because people get murdered. It's one thing to watch a slaughter in a cartoon or in an R-rated movie because the former is more fake, and the latter is expected. But in this show, I didn't see it coming. These weren't really G-rated deaths or deaths by proxy either. One is stabbed in the back, and another takes a pencil through his skull. Watching it again, I gained a new appreciation for the episode's balance of comedy and horror, especially with this line.
We'll always remember he was that tall.
But as a kid, you don't remember those moments. When something freaks you out, things get hazy, and all the follow-up jokes meant to alleviate the scares fall by the wayside. Boy Meets World was the last show I'd expect to spook me as a kid, and that's why it worked. My second to last one is strange, because it's not a movie or even a show, it's the trailer from the 1999 remake of The Haunting. The trailer is cut like a typical horror flick. Slow setup, fades to black, and then escalates to quick cuts of ghosts and other freaky images. The moment that hit me hard was this flash of these golden cherubs coming to life. Check this out. And here it is again. And again. And again. Sorry to do that, but I wanted to illustrate what my thought process was like for 2 straight weeks, over and over again. Looking back, the bad CGI of the time period actually contributed to the terror. I wasn't scared so much of zombies and werewolves because they were so common in media. This bizarre, bug-eyed abomination was something new. I couldn't understand or rationalize it. I've seen the movie since then, and it's not particularly scary or good. Yet, as a child, before going to sleep, I kept picturing myself locked in a dark circular room, and those damn cherubs would pop out of the blackness at me from every direction. I had to leave the room if the trailer ever came on TV. That really messed me up. Rounding up the list is The Brave Little Toaster. This movie. Where to start with this movie? How about the air conditioner doing an impression of Jack Nicholson, who, upon realizing he will always be stuck in a wall, has a complete mental break and short circuits? Conceptually, there's a lot to unpack here, but that takes a backseat to the fact that, as a kid, I watched something essentially commit suicide. On screen, in graphic fashion. Others will point out the toaster's fear of water, which results in a nightmare where she is chased by firemen shooting water forks. Won't that be a little scary for kids? Oh, don't worry, we'll turn the fireman into a clown. Problem solved. This film isn't just scary, it's depressing. Not including the aforementioned suicide, there is a consistent theme of lethargy and struggling to find meaning. There is a musical number where junkyard cars moan about how they no longer serve a purpose. What was that song called? Oh, Worthless. Okay, cool. The scene that truly terrified me was at the same junkyard where the swinging magnet traps our hero's owner onto a conveyor belt. This again ignited my fear of being trapped. The man is moved slowly towards the chompy machine, and we are shown what the result will be. So our toaster sacrifices herself to save him by jumping into the machine, and we get a lovely shot of our protagonist being violently crunched by metal gears. A brave act? Totally. Terrifying to witness? Let's just say that this film didn't get many repeat viewings by preschool Clay. It was as if they wanted to scare children and put just enough pizzazz to get it approved. What a nightmare. That's my list. What are some films or episodes that traumatized you? Comment below. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to get notified whenever I put out a new video. Thanks for watching.